Number 10. The Tawny Owl. That famous twit-too you think of as one bird's call? It's actually two different owls. The sharp queek comes from the female, and the deeper hoo-hoo-oo comes from the male, answering her back. A duet, not a solo. Shakespeare gets partial blame for the confusion. He wrote the sound into one of his plays as if it came from a single bird, and audiences have believed it ever since. Tawny owls are also far more aggressive than their gentle reputation suggests. They've been recorded diving at hikers who wander too close to a nest, sometimes drawing blood. Number 9. The Tawny Frogmouth. It looks exactly like an owl, sits like an owl, and hunts at night like an owl. But it isn't one. It's actually more closely related to nightjars, and its call proves it. A low, droning that sounds almost mechanical, nothing like an owl's hoot. By day, it freezes on a branch with its head tilted back, disguising itself so perfectly as a broken stump that people regularly walk right past one without noticing. If that fails, it has a backup plan. It opens its enormous yellow eyes and gaping mouth all at once, an ambush meant purely to startle a predator long enough for it to escape. Number 8. The Kakapo. This is the only flightless parrot on Earth and also one of the rarest birds alive, with barely 250 left. To attract a mate, the male digs a bowl-shaped pit in the forest floor, inflates air sacs in his chest, and lets out a deep, subsonic boom that can carry for kilometers through the dark. He repeats this for up to 8 hours a night, for months at a time, and can lose almost half his body weight in the process. All for a sound so low, human ears barely register it as a call at all. Because the boom is so deep and directionless, females sometimes struggle to pinpoint exactly which male is calling, so the birds also let out a sharp metallic ching between booms just to help guide her in. Number 7. The Eurasian Eagle-Owl. This is the largest owl species on the planet, with a wingspan approaching 2 meters. Its deep ooh-hoo can be heard up to 4 kilometers away on a still night, echoing across valleys and cliffs. In parts of the Balkans, the sound was traditionally treated as a warning of coming danger, and in some regions, children were told never to imitate the call. Out of fear, it would summon a storm. This bird is also powerful enough to take down prey far larger than itself, including foxes and even other birds of prey, which has earned it a reputation as one of the most dominant nighttime hunters in the entire northern hemisphere. Number 6. The eastern Screech-Owl. Despite the name, it barely screeches at all. Its real signature sound is a shrill, descending whinny that sounds uncannily like a tiny horse in distress. One 19th century writer described it as a mournful nighttime song fit for grieving lovers. And to this day, people who don't recognize the call sometimes report hearing something unnatural moving just outside their window. Despite the name, it's actually one of the smallest owls in North America, barely the size of a robin, which makes the sheer volume of that eerie whinny even more disorienting once you finally spot the tiny bird making it. Number 5. The whippoorwill. This bird repeats its own name over and over, sometimes hundreds of times without stopping, all night long. In Appalachian folklore, a whippoorwill calling near a house was taken as a sign that someone inside was about to die. Some versions of the legend claimed the bird could catch a departing soul as it left the body. Horror writer H.P. Lovecraft leaned directly into this belief, describing the birds as creatures that linger near the dying, waiting. In one documented 1892 account from Maine, a family swore the bird called at their back door for days before a death in the house, and to this day, some rural communities still treat a whip-poor-will's visit as something worth taking seriously. Number 4. The common loon. Its haunting wail is one of the most recognizable sounds in North American wilderness and one of the most misused sounds in film. Directors have dropped this exact call into jungle scenes, desert scenes, and even outer space, simply because it sounds like isolation itself. Indigenous communities near the Great Lakes told their own stories about the sound. Some believed it was the cry of a warrior refused entry into the afterlife. In reality, a loon only wails when it's separated from its mate or chicks, calling out again and again across the water until it finally gets an answer back. Number 3. The barn owl. If you're picturing a gentle hoot, forget it. This owl doesn't hoot at all. Instead, it lets out a raw, rasping scream that lasts about 2 seconds and has been mistaken for a human cry more times than any other bird sound on this list. In British folklore, a barn owl shrieking over a house was considered a direct omen of death, and its pale, silent shape, drifting past graveyards at night, is exactly the kind of sighting that built centuries of ghost stories. Its flight adds to the effect. Specialized fringed wing feathers let it fly in near-total silence, so the scream often seems to come from nowhere, with no warning and no visible source. Number 2. The barred owl. Most of the time it delivers its famous hooting call, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" But during courtship and territorial disputes, it switches into something else entirely. A chaotic, overlapping chorus of cackles, gurgles, and shrieks that people consistently describe as sounding exactly like a troop of monkeys screaming in the dark. Hikers who don't know the source have reported the sound as one of the most disturbing things they've heard in the woods. Scientists count more than a dozen distinct barred owl calls in total, ranging from soft hoots to what researchers themselves have nicknamed the siren call, which makes it one of the most vocally varied owls in North America. Number 1. The common Potoo. In parts of South America, it's simply called the Pour Me One, because that's exactly what its call sounds like it's saying. Its song is a series of descending, sobbing notes drifting through the forest on quiet, moonlit nights. And one naturalist called it the most melancholy sound he'd ever heard from any animal. In Guarani legend from Paraguay, the Potoo is a grieving woman transformed into a bird, doomed to cry out for a lost love every night for the rest of time. By day, it disappears completely, perching upright on a broken branch with its eyes nearly shut and its body angled to look like an extension of the wood itself. So even birders who know exactly where to look often need several minutes just to find it. Out of every eerie call on this list, this is the one people are most likely to swear was never a bird at all. That's 10 night birds guaranteed to give you chills. Which call would freak you out the most if you heard it outside your tent at 3 a.m.? Drop your answer in the comments. If this list gave you goosebumps, hit like and subscribe, because the nightmare doesn't end when the sun comes up. The 10 creepiest daytime bird calls are coming next.